What is up, everybody? Back with another list here, and this one's a really long and special one. It's going to be my top 50 favorite metal bands of all time. Been meaning to get around to this for a while now, ever since I saw my buddy over at Quest for Metal do his list about 6 months ago or so now. Just been putting it off because it's such a long list, tough to put together, kind of stress about what bands I should include, which ones I shouldn't. Should I put this band at 39, this one at 40? Just going to go for it here. Obviously, some of them could switch a spot or two depending on the day, and it is just my favorites, as I said, so I'd like to know yours in the comments. Also, I did do a top 10 favorite list a while back, which some of those might have changed a spot or two. We'll get to it here in a little bit, but just going to go 50 to 1 without stopping, so no intro clips or anything, just going to go straight through. So, I'm going to jump right in here. At number 50, going to start off with Dark Funeral. Really great Swedish black metal band, pretty evil stuff. Did see them back either 2018 or 2019, I think it was last year, but really awesome show. Lord Ackerman on guitar is their only current original member. He's like their band leader, but regardless, amazing live show. They got a lot of really great albums, so they got to be on the list. Number 50, Dark Funeral. Number 49, and I have my list right here to stay in order. Number 49 is going to be Helloween. This is a German power metal band, kind of mixes in some elements of speed metal, especially on their debut album, The Walls of Jericho in 1985. Believe it or not, there was a time, probably like 5 or so years ago, I would have had these guys in my top 10. They've dropped back a bit, but still a pretty big fan. Have a lot of good stuff, so number 49, Helloween. Number 48 is going to be Belphegor. This is an Austrian blackened death metal band that I've been pretty into ever since I saw them live about a year ago, whatever it was, when I went to see Dark Funeral. They opened for Dark Funeral. Super heavy, awesome stuff. As I said, blends black and death metal together. Really cool band. Definitely check them out if you're not familiar with them. Number 47 is going to be Ancient. This is a Norwegian black metal band. Super awesome stuff, very underrated, definitely deserve more recognition than they get. First couple albums are awesome, then they dropped off on 1 or 2 of them, and then the most recent album, 2016, really great as well. Number 46, going to go with Metallica. Yes, Metallica, there is kind of a misconception here. Some people comment acting like I hate Metallica. That's not the case at all, just because I love Megadeth so much. They assume that. I've never said I hate Metallica or that they suck. I've simply said that they're overrated to a degree, as in I don't think they're number 1 all time, top 10 all time, but still very good. First couple albums, obviously, great classic stuff. So on the list, I used to listen to them a ton when I was younger. Obviously, everyone probably did, but yeah, Metallica, that was number 46. Number 45 is going to be Razor. Top tier thrash metal here in the Canadian Big Four. Violent Restitution. I did a top 10 thrash metal albums of all time list a while back, had it on there, so one of my favorite thrash metal albums of all time, one of my favorite thrash bands. The guitar tone is ridiculously good. Amazing, heavy, awesome stuff there. Number 44, going to go with Exodus. Great classic thrash again here. These guys are from California, so they're one of the bands that a lot of people would argue if it's a Big Five, they should be in the Big Five. It's close. They are definitely in contention for me. They're amazing, so that is my number 44. Number 43, I'm going to go with Gravedigger. This is a German band that mixes elements of traditional and power metal. A ton of albums from these guys, like 20 or so. I think they put out an album this year too, so there's stuff there you can go check out. I'm sure you'll find something you like, at least if you're into Judas Priest, Primal Fear, stuff like that. They kind of sound similar to that, I guess, at least with the riffing. But really good band, pretty underrated. Number 42, I'm going to go with DragonForce. Yes, DragonForce, I don't care. I love them. The guitar playing is amazing from Herman Lee and Sam Toteman. Great vocals from Mark Hudson, who's the current guy, and the classic guy. Remember his name here. I'm forgetting his name at the moment, but he's the singer for Skid Row right now. ZP Thart just came to me. ZP. He really good singer, of course, Through the Fire and Flames. Awesome song. Fury of the Storm. Great song as well. Sonic Firestorm, I think, is the album, 2004. But really amazing band. Yeah, saw them live. I recommend you go see them live because people try to say they speed up their stuff in the studio. Don't think that's the case because they played it pretty much the same when I saw them live. So they're on my list here, 42, DragonForce. Number 41, going to go with Accept, another German band here. Great classic stuff, of course. Restless and Wild, Balls to the Wall, Metal Heart. Great run of classic stuff there in the 80s, and they kept on strong through up into the 90s. Udo Dirkschneider left for a while, and then he came back in the 90s. They put out a couple of really good albums, I think. But, yeah, great band. Number 40, going to go with Warlock. Of course, this is the band with Dora Pesch on vocals, her original band there. They had 4 albums, so not a huge, discography, but all the albums pretty damn good. So, going to be on the list here at number 40. Number 39, going to go with Metal Church. Great band. Again, first 4 albums especially. Amazing stuff. The Dark, self-titled, Blessing in Disguise, and The Human Factor, which, Human Factor, my favorite Metal Church album for sure, from 1991. Amazing. Great album there. Really, the first 4, as I said, really good. So yeah, Metal Church, number 39. Number 38, going to go with Ratt. Yes, Ratt. Glam metal, you can call them. I don't think glam metal is a derogatory term or some stuff people act like they'll say that about glam to not say it, but I have no problem with the term. I think you can also just call them a classic heavy metal band. Dual guitar attack, Warren DeMartini and Robin Crosby, the classic duo there on guitar. One of the best of all time. Stephen Pearcy, great unique voice. But Out of the Cellar, as I've said a lot of times, is my favorite debut metal album of all time. Top to bottom, all killer, no filler in my opinion. And really all of their albums have some good stuff on them, at least I'd say. So great band there. My number 38, Ratt. Number 37, going to go with Racer X. This is great classic speed metal. Scott Travis came along from their second album onward, as everyone knows, from Judas Priest since Painkiller. Of course, Paul Gilbert on guitar, one of the absolute best of all time. The guy is ridiculously good. Listen to Technical Difficulties if you aren't familiar with him, which I'm sure everyone is, but amazing player, great band. Racer X, number 37. Number 36, I'm going to go with Tokyo Blade. Super great, underrated new wave of British heavy metal band. Several really good albums there to start off, like the first 3 were amazing, and then 95 was a really good album. The albums in the mid to late 80s weren't too great, and then 95 they came back with a good album. I think it was called like Burning Down Paradise. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it was. Maybe not, but their last... As I was saying, the 2 most recent Tokyo Blade albums are really good as well. Unbroken from 2018 and their most recent album from this year, Dark Revolution, really good as well. They also have 4/5 of their classic lineup currently in the band, which is really cool. Just overall really great classic band, Tokyo Blade, in at number 36. And if you're wondering what happened just now, I conveniently ran out of storage on my phone, so I had to restart the video. But continuing on here, number 35, going to go with the Ozzy Osbourne solo band. A lot of great classic albums. My favorite is The Ultimate Sin, which, pretty unpopular pick probably, but just love Jakey Lee. He is my favorite guitarist Ozzy had. Yes, I like Randy Rhoads a lot too. Amazing player. Zakk Wylde's great also. Really all the players he had, really good, but Jake, my favorite for sure, and of course Ozzy, really good, unique, distinctive voice. So that is my number 35. Number 34, I'm going to go with Sodom. This is great classic German thrash. One of the more extreme thrash metal bands that gained popularity, I'd say. Their early stuff was borderline black metal, people call it, but great band, Sodom. A lot of good stuff throughout their discography. Number 33, going to go with Testament. One of the bigger, probably one of the biggest thrash bands of all time. A lot of people say they are the 5th band, if you were going to say it's the big 5 instead of big 4. A lot of good stuff from these guys. Pretty big fan, obviously. Have them at number 33. Number 32, I'm going to go with Primal Fear. Now, Primal Fear is a German band that blends traditional metal and power metal very nicely. It sounds kind of similar to, I'd say, Judas Priest mixed with Helloween. Great vocals from Ralph Scheepers, who was the vocalist of Gamma Ray on their first couple albums, the former guitarist / singer of Helloween. He's back in Helloween now, Kai Hansen's band. But yeah, freaking Primal Fear, really awesome band with a lot of great albums. Number 31, I'm going to go with Chastain. This is a really underrated one. Classic, American, I'd say US power metal, speed metal mix, I guess traditional metal, whatever you want to call it. Just great classic metal from the 80s. A lot of it is. David T. Chastain on guitar, one of the best of all time, very underrated player. Leather Leone on vocals, amazing, powerful voice, one of my favorite singers of all time. So they're pretty high up here at number 31. Number 30, I'm going to go with Enforcer. This one may be kind of surprising because they're pretty modern. They've got 5 albums right now, I believe, which I've ranked their discography before. But I like most of those albums a really good bit. I like all of them, actually. But great band. They're from Sweden. New wave of traditional heavy metal. Blend in elements of speed metal with their stuff as well, which is really good and cool. Yeah, awesome band. Definitely check them out if you're not familiar. Number 29, going to go with Skun Fist. This is another one that is in the new wave of traditional heavy metal. Like them slightly better than Enforcer. I think Chasing the Dream, which is their 2014 album, is one of the best of all time. That was in my top 10 albums a while back when I did that list. So I've been a fan of these guys for a long time. Absolutely love them. Could maybe move up a bit more if they put out a couple more really good ones. But for now, going to be at number 29. Number 28, going to put Gehenna, which still haven't gotten exact confirmation if that's the right pronunciation. Some have said Gehenna, Gehenna. Regardless, they are an amazing second wave black metal band from Norway. They mixed several different styles throughout the years. Started off kind of like symphonic black metal, which First Spell, the EP from 94, I think, is amazing, great stuff. And then they kind of were shifting towards more of a straightforward, aggressive, heavy black metal, raw type of stuff. Then went to death metal on an album, which is a really good one as well. Then back to straight up black metal. But really good band. Definitely recommend them if you like extreme metal. Go check them out. Number 27, going to go with Immortal. Another really good classic black metal band. Another one from Norway here. Arguably the biggest and best black metal band of all time. A lot of great albums. Sons of Northern Darkness from 2002, my favorite by them. I got to keep an order right here. Just looking down at the order. So I'm at number 26, and that is going to be Anthem. Great classic Japanese metal band. Akio Shimizu, their current guitar player, is one of my favorites of all time. Really amazing player. He first started off with them on the Domestic Booty album in 1992. They broke up for a while after that and then got back together in 2000. And they've put out a lot of really good stuff since then. But a lot of great classic stuff as well. Number 25, this one is maybe the only one that's kind of on the border of hard rock and metal. You could consider them to be either one. But I'm going to go with Scorpions at number 25. A ton of great classic influential stuff throughout the 70s and 80s. Great guitar playing, great vocals from Klaus Meine. So they got to be on the list. Number 24, going to go with Mercyful Fate. First wave black metal band, but a lot more of a traditional metal edge than some of those other bands like Bathory and Celtic Frost, which I like Mercyful Fate a lot better than those other bands, which I like them all. But Mercyful Fate, easily my favorite. King Diamond on vocals, one of the best voices in all of metal. Michael Denner and Hank Sherman, one of the best guitar duos in metal. There's a lot of great albums from them. I'd probably say Time and Don't Break the Oath are my favorites. Number 23, going to go with Saxon. Another great classic band here. New wave of British heavy metal. They're the second biggest and best, I'd say, to come out of that movement behind Iron Maiden. A lot of great albums all throughout the discography. First one came out in 79. Most recent came out in 2018. So been putting out albums 40 years, so like 20 albums or so at this point. The Inner Sanctum from 2007, I'd say, is one of their best, and that's pretty recent. So very consistent discography. Great band. Number 22, going to go with Dark Fortress. So this one might be the most surprising pick on the list. I don't know. We'll get to the end here, but 22, Dark Fortress, German melodic black metal. Probably my favorite black metal band of all time. I think they are the highest on this list. Love all the albums. Just overall fantastic band, and definitely recommend them if you're into black metal and aren't familiar with them, which I'm sure everyone is. But yeah, number 21, going to go with Dio. The Dio band, which Ronnie James Dio and Vinny Appice formed after they left Black Sabbath the first time there in the early 80s. Holy Diver, of course, the debut from 83. One of the best metal albums of all time. They did put out a lot of really good ones throughout the years. So yeah, number 21. Number 20, I'm going to go with Dokken. Now, Dokken is an awesome band, obviously. George Lynch, one of my favorite guitar players. I think Don Dokken has an amazing voice. All those albums from the 80s are really good, but then they put out a lot of other really good stuff as well up through the 2000s. The 95 album, Dysfunctional, is not terrible, but Erase the Slate in 99, which had Red Beach on guitar, who's another freaking monster. Really anyone they got throughout the years on guitar, whether it was George Lynch, Red Beach, John Norum from Europe played on an album. Yeah, all those guys amazing. The current guy they have now is awesome as well. But yeah, great band. Number 20, Dokken. Number 19, gonna go with Flotsam and Jetsam. Criminally underrated thrash metal band. One of my favorites of all time. No Place for Disgrace. One of the best thrash albums in all of the history of thrash. So, great band here. A lot of good stuff throughout their discography. Number 18, I'm going to go with Sabotage. Chris Oliva, again, one of the absolute best of all time. Terrible how he died. John Oliva on vocals. His brother, really great, unique voice. Hall of the Mountain King from 87. One of the absolute best albums of all time. I'd say that's in my top, probably top 20 for sure. Number 17, I'm going to go with Death Angel. This is another thrash band. These guys are from California, Bay Area thrash. Did rank their albums in the past if you want to check it out. I think they have a lot of good stuff. Really, I like all of their albums. Their most recent album from last year was really good as well. Just overall, fantastic band. Number 16, I'm going to go with Death. So Death Angel was 17. Death is 16. This is my favorite death metal band without question. Chuck Schuldiner was a genius musically. All the albums are really good. Have ranked them as well in the past if you want to check that one out too. Number 15, I'm going to go with Holy Moses. Now, this is my favorite band from Germany of all time. Sabina Klassen on vocals, great voice. Andy Klassen was their classic guitarist who was a really great technical player. Just amazing band. The New Machine of Liechtenstein from 89. Another one of the best thrash albums of all time, I'd say. But all of their albums for the most part, except for the one from 94, which don't even remember the name of it because it sucks. But besides that one, all the other stuff really, really good. Number 14 now. So number 14 is going to be Annihilator. Amazing band. I am a big advocate for post Never Neverland Annihilator because I think there is a ton of good material. The thing about Annihilator, the fans will say just the first two albums are good. That's it. Extremely false. A lot of the other stuff is amazing. Refresh the Demon, Set the World on Fire, obviously. And then up through the 2000s, there's a lot of good stuff. Schizo Deluxe, All For You, I think, is a good album. Criteria for a Black Widow from 99. Their most recent album from this year, Ballistic Sadistic, really awesome. So Annihilator, amazing band. Jeff Waters, one of the best guitar players of all time. Number 13, I'm going to go with Motörhead. Amazing band. I've actually been listening to them a ton, probably the most of any of these bands recently. Motörhead, you got the classic lineup, Phil Taylor, Fast Eddie Clarke, Lemmy. Sadly, they are all gone. But then, of course, you got the other trio that was of the last, 25 years or so of the band or whatever. Freaking Mickey D on drums, Phil Campbell on guitar, and Lemmy on vocals and bass. But yeah, I think that lineup was from around Sacrifice. I think Sacrifice was the last one with Wurzel. But then onward after that, it was the trio I just said. Both amazing. Really, most of their albums are really good. I'm not sure exactly what my favorite Motörhead album would be. Kiss of Death and Inferno. Those two albums are really amazing. But, of course, Overkill, Iron Fist, Ace of Spades, a lot of classics, too. I had to rank them pretty soon as well. But great band overall. Motörhead, number 13. Number 12, I'm going to go with Iced Earth. I've said this a million times. John Schaefer, best rhythm guitarist in metal. Dude pumps out riffs like you would not believe. So many amazing riffs on all of these albums. It's ridiculous. Matt Barlow on vocals was their classic vocalist from, I think, Burnt Offerings up through however many albums, 5-6 albums. Good singer, but John Schaefer definitely the standout of the band with those riffs, great guitar tone. Just great band overall. Number 11, going to go with Slayer. So Slayer actually dropped a spot because they were at number 10 a while back when I did the list, top 10 favorites. So dropped them down to 11, obviously. Amazing band. Great classic thrash, Kerry King, Jeff Hanneman, Dave Lombardo, Tom Araya, the classic lineup, but a lot of good stuff from them. Number 10, so the band that I jumped up one spot ahead is going to be Cradle of Filth. Yeah, they could switch depending on the day, but for now I'm going to put Cradle of Filth. These guys are amazing. People like to debate whether or not they're black metal. They have elements of black metal. Some of the albums you could say are black metal, I guess. Some gothic metal elements, but I just say they're extreme metal. All the albums, for the most part, really good. Dusk and Her Embrace from 96 is amazing. Cruelty and the Beast from 98. And Midian from 2000, my favorite 3-run album stretch of theirs. Those albums, all freaking dang near perfect. But amazing band. Number 9, I'm going to go with Overkill. Now, this is great classic American thrash, possibly the most consistent band in all of metal, because the first album came out in 85, Feel the Fire, up through 2019. Did they have an album last year? I think so, but pretty much all of the albums have been really good. It's crazy. I'd say Horoscope is my favorite album from 1991 of theirs, but amazing classic band. Number 8, I'm going to go with W.A.S.P. Got the cool W.A.S.P. shirt I got to show up right here. Blackie Lawless. Amazing singer, great musician. He's played bass for the band, is what he started off doing, and then he switched over to rhythm guitar. But yeah, amazing band. A lot of great albums. Again, want to rank their albums pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, W.A.S.P., one of the absolute best of all time. Number 7, I'm going to go with Loudness. Number 7. So, Loudness, favorite band from Japan. Another band that has a ton of albums. They've got 27 studio albums. Started off in 81. Most recent came out in 2018. So, they should be due for a new album here pretty soon. Ton of good stuff in the discography. Akira Takasaki, one of the absolute best guitar players of all time. So, with the top 6 now, I'm going to go with Black Sabbath at number 6. I was thinking about it there for a second if I should put them up a spot higher, but I'm going to put them at number 6. Amazing band, obviously. Most influential metal band, people argue, and I agree with. They're the first metal band. I would say they're the first metal band. Some people try to say Zeppelin's the first metal band, or Iron Butterfly and shit, but no, I say Black Sabbath, first metal band. One of the best metal bands. Tony Iommi, a riff machine. And I have to say this every time I talk about Black Sabbath. I think each era is really good. Not just the Ozzy stuff. The Dio stuff is great. The album with Ian Gillan is good. The albums after that, really good. Specifically the Tony Martin era stuff, which I conveniently have. Hold on. This is impromptu right here. Just have this stuff sitting right here conveniently. Got to show them real quick. Headless Cross. Amazing album. Tear. Fantastic album. We got Cross Purposes. Good album. And Forbidden, which I really don't hate Forbidden like some people do, but it's not great. And also Eternal Idol, which I have on vinyl somewhere down here. But yeah, Black Sabbath, amazing band. Number 5, I'm going to go with King Diamond. So the King Diamond solo band, Andy LaRocque on guitar, who's been there since the beginning. First album, Fatal Portrait in 86. So many great albums from this band. Abigail, Them, Conspiracy, The Eye, which is my personal favorite. The Puppet Master, which is an underrated gem from 2003. Have ranked that discography as well. Go check it out. But fantastic band, King Diamond. Number 4, going to go with Iron Maiden. Some people like to try to hate on Iron Maiden. I don't really get it, but great classic band, of course. Biggest and best from the new wave of British heavy metal. No, Judas Priest is not new wave of British heavy metal. They were around before that movement came up, but yeah. Iron Maiden, what else can you say? Freaking classic. Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. One of the best guitar duos of all time. Bruce Dickinson, my favorite singer they had. Definitely prefer him to Paul Di'Anno, which some people say Di'Anno is better. I disagree. Favorite album from, I gotta say, Steve Harris, obviously. Great bass player. Nico McBrain on the drums since 83. Favorite album from Iron Maiden, gotta go with Somewhere in Time, 86. Not the most popular pick, but I love that one. Peace of Mind, I'd probably say is my second favorite. Top 3 now. So my number 3 is gonna be Pantera. Love Pantera, Dimebag Darrell. One of my favorite guitar players of all time. Obviously, got the tattoo. And, you know, Pantera, another band. Really, a lot of the popular bands, people try to shit on them and stuff. I disagree with the Pantera hate for sure. They're a great band. Like the stuff in the 80s as well. Terry Glaze albums, first 3, which were glam metal, I think have a lot of good stuff on them. Power Metal was the first one with Phil Anselmo in 88. Pretty much just speed metal, that album is kind of mislabeled as glam metal. Cowboys from Hell, one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. All those albums after that, good as well. But Cowboys from Hell, amazing album. Pantera, great band. Number 3. My number 2 is Judas Priest. The Metal Gods, fantastic band. Painkiller, my second favorite album of all time. Judas Priest, my second favorite band of all time. Rob Halford is actually my favorite vocalist. He's at number 1. So Rob Halford, best voice of all time. K.K. Downing and Glenn Tipton, fantastic duo. Scott Travis on the drums. That's a guitar duo. I didn't say guitar, but great guitar duo. Glenn Tipton and K.K. Downing. The drumming from Scott Travis since Painkiller, fantastic. Ian Hill, he's a good bass player, but I've made the joke. People have made the joke. He's like the guy that does nothing in the school project and still gets an A. I feel bad saying that, but yeah, he's been there since the beginning. He's a good, solid bass player. But we'll get on to the number 1 pick, which should be obvious after I say some honorable mentions, because there were a lot of honorable mentions, a lot of great bands that didn't quite make it. Just because it's not on the list doesn't mean I don't like it. Just couldn't quite fit it, because there's a ton of great bands. Bathory, extremely close to making it. So, Mgwa, is that how you pronounce it? M-G-L-A. I saw some people pronouncing it as Mgwa. I think that's how you pronounce it, but that's a great band. Graza 1, that's fantastic album from 2008. Bolt Thrower, Obituary, 1349. Eidolon, which is the band of the Drover brothers. They went on to be in Megadeth. Their band Eidolon was really good. Definitely recommend to check them out. Holy Grail, Nuclear Assault. Fear of Eternity, which is a great atmospheric black metal band that I like a lot. They've got several awesome albums. Yngwie Malmsteen solo band. Vane, Watain, Svartsen, Tak, Sepultura, Old Man's Child, Lord Belial, LA Guns if you want to consider them metal, Laz Rocket, Hecate Enthroned, or Hecate, I'm not exactly how to pronounce that one, but first couple albums of theirs, amazing, very similar to Cradle of Filth. Grim Reaper, Tigers of Pantang, Dissection, which was one I was considering, but they've only got 2 great albums, so it's like, should you include them, should you not? But Dissection, really good band. Vinterland is one I wanted to mention. They've only got 1 album, but it is really damn good. That's Swedish melodic black metal. Blizzard with 1 Z, which is a Japanese classic metal band from the 80s, which is really good. Coroner, Crimson Glory, Queensryche, Dark Throne, Destroyer 666, Europe, Fate's Warning, Armored Saint, Firehouse, and Forbidden. So those are some honorable mentions I wanted to get to. And my number 1 is obviously Megadeth. Favorite band of all time. Have been for the last probably 12 years or so at least. But Rust in Peace, my favorite album of all time. Favorite lineup of the band is that lineup. Dave Mustaine on vocals and guitar. Marty Friedman on lead guitar. Nick Menza on drums. And David Ellefson on bass. Love all the albums. For the most part, Risk and Super Collider, of course, aren't great, but I don't think they're as terrible as people act like. But, yeah, Megadeth, favorite band of all time. That was my top 50 metal bands of all time. A lot to get through there, a lot to say. So, yeah, as usual, I would like to know yours in the comments. And until next time, thank you for watching.